A potential aid package for farmers now also delayed due to that government shutdown, which has many speculating over the future of the farm bill. Roger McEowen with the Washburn School of Law joins us now for more on this. Roger, pleasure. The outlook for this potential relief moving forward. Have you heard any industry expectations? Do you think that we're going to have to wait until the shutdown ends before receiving any details?
Well, I think, Suzanne, good to be with you. If there's one thing that's certainty is we're going to be delayed. The administration had plans to roll out the aid package this week, of course, but those plans have been postponed because of the shutdown. And then an announcement that was teased for yesterday never materialized. And so what I've heard is the administration reportedly has readied between 12 billion and 15 billion to be allocated from internal USDA accounts or an internal USDA account, possibly the CCC. But there are significant obstacles and legal questions if that's done. For example, direct payments to farmers are statutorily capped. And if you draw down that large of a sum, that could be difficult without Congress refilling the CCC's borrowing authority, which is severely depleted and cannot be done during a shutdown. So that's one complication that I see that's out there. In addition, the timeline is further delayed because, as you kind of indicated on the open, some key USDA political appointees have been furloughed. So this is going to take a while to get this aid out.
No doubt. And farmers, of course, struggling right now. It is challenge after challenge, and they're trying to cope with these financial hurdles. So they're looking for alternatives. Some looking, Roger, to these ag liens as a tool to obtain financing for operation costs. These rules obviously can be complex. So what do they need to know here?
Yeah, that's true. And it's a cash flow issue. And particularly if we go back to this aid issue, if they're going to stage this out, which I think they will in multiple steps over time, we're probably looking at December at the earliest or January of 2026 when the payments come out. So liens are statutory. Of course, farmers borrow money and there might be a secured transaction where the lender takes collateral for the loan and there's a financing statement that's filed. But liens are granted by state statute. So you have to have a statute that provides for the lien, but they are done by filing now. There's no secret liens that are out there largely. That was eliminated about 20, 25 years ago. So priority is by filing. So if you have multiple liens stacked up, for example, on a particular item, priority is by filing, just like it would be with a normal secured transaction. And when we talk about liens, you've got the landlord's lien, ag harvester's lien, you got a mechanic's lien. They're basically liens for services rendered. That's what we're talking about here.
So again, there are different categories for these liens. But again, when you have multiple creditors that have liens on the same property, what do they need to know right now?
Yeah, just remember the liens are now statutory and they have to be filed to be enforceable. We don't have secret liens. And so the order of filing of the lien, whoever files first has priority as to the liens. And some liens, statutory liens, the statute may say that you're going to beat out a prior perfected lender, such as a bank, if you properly perfect that lien. So that's the key point about agricultural liens.
Okay. And again, the big takeaway right now, I mean, the point is we're not going to see answers anytime soon. If we're talking about some of those delays, December, January for payments, producers are going to have to do something.
Well, yeah, and what I've also heard, and I just got back, I did the Ag Outlook conference in Kansas City recently, and I just came back from Savannah with the crop insurance professionals, and there were a number of bankers at both of those events. And what I'm hearing from bankers as I talk with them is they understand that under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the commodity title, there's a bunch of payments coming into grain farmers next October. And where they can, they're already reworking some of the loans to put off payment until the fall of 26. So that's one thing that's kind of going on in the background. And the farm bill provisions in the OBA are pretty prominent in terms of granting relief, but that's next year. And so we're talking about kind of stopgap measures right now, and that's what's going to be delayed. So work with the lenders. I think that's the big takeaway. Make sure you're clear on where you're at on things and make sure you're not hiding anything on your books so that the lenders understand where you're at. And I think the vast majority of ag lenders will work with farmers.
That's a great point. Roger, great information, great tips, great advice as always. Appreciate you being here. Roger McEowen with the Washburn School of Law.